It's 25 to midnight, and you're wondering why I'm out here in the dark. I'm just going to go and see a midnight screening of Deadpool and Wolverine. I will let you know what it's like when I come out. So nearly midnight. Pubs and clubs are kicking out, but there's barely anybody else around. Anyway, let's head into the Odeon and go and see Deadpool and Wolverine. Hello, welcome back to Mancinima. It has been a while, hasn't it, since we've seen each other. Apologies for that. I've actually been off writing and working on my own stories. I've been trying to get my own films back off the ground. If you go to the Mancini Pictures Limited website, you can see some of the older movies that I've made. I'm trying to get some new ones made, trying to get a team together, writing new materials. So that's been taking up a lot of my time. And unfortunately, you know, something has to suffer, and it is the Mancinima film reviews. To be honest with you, it hasn't been a great year for cinema, has it? I mean, there's been a few films that have been potential great films and they've kind of flopped and not been so good. It's only really kind of end of June, beginning of July that these better films have been coming along, at least the more entertaining films. So a couple of films I can recommend to you that I haven't been able to review because I've been too busy. Despicable Me 4, very, very good film, very funny. If you love the previous Despicable Me and Minion films, you're going to love this one. Fantastic animation, fantastic performances, great story, really kind of entertaining and fun, and I was laughing out loud quite a few moments in this film, literally because I love the Minions. So yeah, if you want to see an enjoyable family film, Despicable Me 4 is out at the moment. It's at cinemas right now. Twisters, a sequel to the 1996 film starring Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. That is in the cinema right now. It stars Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar-Jones. They're taking the lead in this one. The film isn't connected to the previous Twister film, I should say. So you should be able to go in and just enjoy this for its own kind of story. Great story this time round also. Great chemistry between the two leads. Special effects were amazing. And you really felt it was a really gripping storyline. I was quite surprised that I enjoyed this one as much as I did. It's one of my favourites of the year so far. So Twisters is at cinemas now, so go and see that one. A film that I was disappointed in was a film called Long Legs. As you know, I love my horror movies. Long Legs is a kind of a serial killer, kind of creepy horror film. And it stars Nicolas Cage as the title character, Long Legs, and he's put in a really creepy disguised performance. And Micah Monroe is the FBI agent tasked with tracking him down. I was really looking forward to this one, but I was kind of disappointed in that I thought it was a little bit lackluster. I thought the story dragged. I thought it was very boring. It didn't escalate to a decent conclusion. It just kind of dragged its feet as it came along. And for one of the horror movies that I was looking forward to most this year, I was very, very disappointed in it. It's kind of leaning more into those kind of A24 neon kind of movies where they love the elevated horror. And I want horror to get back to being entertaining and fun like it used to be when I was a kid. I used to love watching horror movies, you know, your characters, Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, all that kind of business. We don't seem to have that anymore. We seem to have these social dramas that have a hint of horror in them. And that's kind of what Long Legs is, and that's the way that horror movies are currently going, and I wish it would find a way back to true horror. Anyway, we're not talking about horror today. We're not here to talk about horror today. We are here to talk about Wolverine and Deadpool, or Deadpool and Wolverine to give it its correct title, which I saw at the cinema last night on a midnight screening. When I say a midnight screening, I got in there about 1:45, sat down in my seat, and then we had like 37 minutes worth of adverts and trailers before the film actually began. So it was like 25 to almost 20 to 1 in the morning before the movie actually started. And it was a very long film. It's about a 2 hour, 7 minute long movie. That to be said, it was actually a very entertaining movie. I really did enjoy it. I'm going to give you the briefest of hints to the plot because I don't want you to be spoiled in any way that is possible. So the briefest hints to the plot, sorry, getting tongue-tied here, is I have had about 2 hours sleep. So briefest hint of plot is that Deadpool, Wade Wilson, played by Ryan Reynolds once again, is fed up with the superhero life. He's trying to give it up. He's trying to live a normal life. He's trying to find his way back to Vanessa, but he's almost accepted defeat in that she's not going to be with him. She's kind of moved on to somebody else. And he's got this little small circle of family and friends around him. And he's, like I say, he's trying to get back into a normal life, really. He just doesn't want to be in part of the superhero life anymore. To that end, he's taken a job as a used car salesman. And it's very funny because obviously he's got this very scarred face and he's wearing this terrible toupee on top, which he staples onto his own head. So you'll see that at the beginning of the film. And so, yeah, so you've got this kind of very mundane life. However, he gets a knock on the door, he opens the door, and the TVA are there. TVA are the Time Variant Authority, I believe, from the Loki TV series, if you've seen that on Disney+. and they take Wade away, and they take him to this hub, the kind of TVA hub, where Matthew McFadden's Mr. Paradox talks to him, and he says, look, we need you. We know that you want to be part of this bigger universe, a universe that you always wanted to belong in, something with other superheroes and all that kind of business. So you can do that, but you have to walk away from your own universe, which is going to die. And he said, well, why is my universe going to die? He says, because your anchor character died. And they say, well, he says, well, who's my anchor character? And his anchor character was Logan from the movie Logan. So when Logan died in that movie, he was the anchor to their world, and therefore his world is no longer relevant. So they're going to kill it off, drag Deadpool in, put him into a new universe so he can carry on living and he can become the superhero he always wanted to be. And all of his family and friends, including Vanessa, played by Marina, I think it's Baccarin. So she will die off, as will all of the other characters that you know from the previous 2 Deadpool films. Deadpool isn't happy with this, and he sets about saying to them, you know, I want my universe. And this guy says, well, no, we're going to accelerate it because we want to get this universe out of the way. It takes years to kill off a universe, and we want to accelerate it, get it done in about 48 hours, and then you can come and live in this new universe. Of course, Deadpool, as I said, isn't happy about this. So he thinks what he's got to do is go and find Logan. So we see him kind of hopping through various scenarios where he's looking for Logan, and he finally finds one at a bar, which you see in the trailer. And he drags him back to the TVA, and the TVA tell him that he's the wrong Logan, and that Logan is the worst possible Logan because he's the one that kind of destroyed his own world. So they get sent to a place called the Void, and it's from there on out that I won't tell you anything more about the story because everything kind of unfolds once we get there. I really enjoyed this film. I didn't know if I was going to because it was on so late at night, and like I say, we had all those adverts. I knew I would enjoy Deadpool and Wolverine. I knew there'd be no doubt that I'd enjoy it because I'd enjoyed the previous 2 movies. But I think because it was so late at night, I didn't know if I was going to take it all in, if you know what I mean. Always knew that I was going to go for a second screening of this film at some point. But yeah, I sat there and I let the film wash over me, and I found myself really getting involved with the characters, really loving the characters. There's this great chemistry between Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, as there is in real life. You know, they got some great banter together, and they have some great moments together as well. Not only through the banter, but through the fighting. And yeah, it really does show on screen how hard these two work to bring this film together. It's, yeah, like I say, it's a good story. It does kind of flag in places, as you know, not through anything terrible. It's just that you find that sometimes it goes from fight sequence, pause, and you just think, you know, there's a little bit too much fighting going on. But you know, you just got to accept it. You just got to run with it and roll with it. But yeah, I really did think it was a really good, fun, enjoyable film. Like I say, great chemistry. There's some really fantastic set pieces in this, including one set in a Honda car. I won't say anything more than that, but look out for the scene for the Honda car. It goes on for a little bit, but it is really, really funny. And there's some other great things that go on in this movie as well. Great chemistry amongst all of the cast. There are also, and I'm not going to reveal who, there are some amazing cameos in this film. There's some that have been leaked already, which you kind of know about. So when they show up on the screen, you go, okay, well, I knew that was coming. But there are others who pop up on the screen, and you go, oh, okay, so they got them. And that's amazing. You kind of jaw drops. You go, okay, I really didn't expect to see that person in this film. So yeah, so watch out for those. Yeah, I thought it was a good film. There's the thing that really sets it off, the thing that really drags you into the movie is the opening sequence where they do the title sequence. You see Deadpool at the beginning, and he's kind of knocking and narking about Disney and this business, but then it goes into this action kind of title sequence, similar to what we've had in the other Deadpool films, where the titles are appearing on blades and bits and bobs as it flashes across the screen. It's so well done, it's so well choreographed. I'm not going to tell you why or what you should be looking out for, but literally go in and do not miss that opening sequence when they do the title cards and everything like that. It's really, really worthwhile. It really sets the mood for the rest of the film, and you know you're going to be on a great journey. Yeah, there's other little characters in you've seen in the trailer. You've got Dogpool. Dogpool's a funny little character who kind of pops up every now and again. And yeah, there's just so much that I can say about this film, but I don't want to say about this film because it will spoil it for you. So yeah, I highly recommend that you go and see Deadpool and Wolverine. It's not Deadpool versus Wolverine, although that does happen every now and again in the movie. You've seen it in the trailer. But yeah, go and see this movie if you're a Marvel fan, especially if you're a Marvel fan, because there's going to be lots of comic references in there, lots of previous movie references in there, lots of current movie references in there as well. Of course, Ryan Reynolds breaking the fourth wall, talking to the audience every now and again is funny as hell. And there's lots of, the only thing I will say is there's lots of swearing. It's not a Marvel film for kids. It is a 15 certificate. I was expecting it to be higher actually, because it's quite bloody and quite gory in places. I was expecting it a little bit higher, but there, I guess the gore is done in a comedic fashion rather than a mean fashion. So you kind of excuse a little bit of it. It's kind of comic book violence, cartoony comic book violence, similar to the Evil Dead 2, rather than kind of all-out nasty violence, if you know what I mean. If you get what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit tired still after. I only rolled in about 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm still a little bit kind of cinema lagged. But yeah, go and see Deadpool and Wolverine. It's a really good film, very worthwhile seeing at the cinema. And go and see it with a full crowd, because then once everybody's laughing, you'll have a great time with it. I saw the movie in 3D, really didn't think it was going to work in 3D. The reason I saw it in 3D is because the seat that I wanted in my regular screen was already taken up. And all of the other seats were full up as well. One of the other screens was showing subtitles, and I don't really know anybody who wants to sit there and read subtitles at, say, like 1, 2 in the morning. You know, you just want to sit and watch the film, let it wash over you. So 3D was the only way I had to go, unfortunately. But the 3D did work. Now, I don't know whether Sean Levy, who's the director, designed it that way, in that he knew it was going to be released in 3D, but especially that title sequence I was talking about, where Deadpool was kind of hacking a few people up, that works very, very well in 3D, and there's moments throughout the film as well which work very well in 3D. So go and see Deadpool and Wolverine at your local cinema as soon as possible. And that's my cat just walked in talking to me. So sorry about that brief interruption. That was my cat walking in talking to me as I was trying to end the video. You know, you get so far through a video and then your cat walks in and starts talking to you. What can I say? So yes, go and see Deadpool and Wolverine at a cinema near you right away. One thing I will say is go this weekend if you want to get some of the special merch. Now I'm going to do a different video about this. I'm going to do a follow-up video talking just about the merch. But you want to be looking out for things like this in the Odeon. This is a cupped sipper, if you know what it is, a Deadpool sipper. And if you're going to View, they have got one like that. But we'll talk about that in a separate video. My rating out of 10 for Deadpool and Wolverine is, I would fear, maybe an 8.5 or maybe a 9 out of 10. It's not quite perfect. It's not quite there. But it does its damned best, you know, that you're going to enjoy this film. So, yeah, definitely go and see this one at the cinema. If you've enjoyed this review video, like I said, sorry for taking so long to come back to you with another review video, but if you've enjoyed it, you know what to do. Please give the thumbs up, helps the video out, helps spread the word of the other videos that I've been doing. Thank you to all of the new subscribers that I've had coming along. I haven't been on it for a while, so the fact that people are still coming along and subscribing is fantastic. Thank you so much. Leave me a comment in the comments. Let me know whether you've enjoyed this film, whether you're looking forward to seeing Deadpool and Wolverine, and don't obviously spoil anything for anybody. Don't write in the comments, I loved it when this happened or when that happened. Just say that you've enjoyed the film or that you didn't enjoy the film for whatever reason. But I'd love to hear from you. I love chatting to you guys about movies when I got the time. Unfortunately, like I say, I've been a bit busy with doing my own films at the moment. But hopefully I can get back and do a few more review videos. Maybe I'll try to pop back to do Alien Romulus when that gets released in a few weeks' time. So maybe I'll have the time to come back and do that one for you. But in the meantime, like I say, thank you so much for watching this one. Click on the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new to this channel. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Hit the notification bell and it will tell you when I've done another one of these videos. And I will see you all possibly very soon with the Alien Romulus review video. If not, I will see you next time. Take care. And oh, come back and see the video about the popcorn tubs and all the other Deadpool merch that I'll be showing in a second. Take care.